All right, it says we are live, Ninja Nation. Day number 3 of me going live and trying to provide some content and some value to all of you that have been following me for a long time. I'm really excited about today's specific subject. I've been teaching a lot of content directly out of the brand new updated 8 Secrets Masterclass. I am going to be dropping this content and a lot of information about it on February the 17th at the largest Monday morning meeting I have ever had. Our goal is to have a couple hundred of you on live with me on Zoom as I'll be teaching about the 8 secrets of the sales process, of the insurance sales process. If you want to absolute have domination and mastery in the insurance business, then I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment below. If you're on my Facebook group or YouTube channel or LinkedIn right now, drop a comment about February 17th, and I'll make sure you get the link and know how you can attend the largest free training event I have offered. I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to be teaching some content today that I am passionate about. This is Secret 2, directly out of the 8 Secrets. Secret 2, lead nurture. Now, in order to understand lead nurture, you probably need to understand what most of us have been taught our entire insurance careers is that the fortune is in the follow-up. And you've probably heard those words, the fortune is in the follow-up. And you're taught to follow up with your prospects, follow up with your leads, and follow up with your sales conversations, and follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And then you probably are like I used to be, where I would worry about that a lot. Like, how much follow-up is too much? And how do I be persistent without turning into a pest? And do I follow up via email? Do I stop back in person? Do I phone call, but are they going to ignore me? What would I even say? I feel like I followed up until I'm blue in the face. And I think what I craved was an actual, repeatable, intentional, developed process by which I could turn my prospecting and my follow-up into a machine and just know exactly what to do, why to do it, where to do it. And that took me on a long journey. And it taught me over the years that follow-up and nurture are two very different things. And it wasn't until I got deeply involved in digital marketing and learning about marketing did I learn that there is a massive difference between a marketing activity and a sales activity. And it took a long time to understand this. So I'm going to share my screen. If you're taking some notes, feel free to jot down a couple of these notes. And then on February 17th, I'll be telling you on my live webinar there how you can get a copy of this workbook and actually go through a lot of this content yourself and learn the 8 secrets of insurance sales mastery. Lead nurture. Everything you think you know about follow-up, I believe, is about to change. When you fully understand, implement, and eventually perfect this second secret, your business will transform forever, because here is what you got to understand about nurture versus follow-up. Right now, today, when you're out building your pipeline and you're trying to find decision makers that are willing to give you their time, in exchange to get on your to get you on their calendar, man, only about 3% of your prospects are what we would call problem aware, and this is important, problem aware and solution seeking. 3% of the market at any given time is problem aware and solution seeking. So do math with me. That would mean by default, 97% of your leads need to be, and this, you need to underline this, write this, circle this, they need to be nurtured, not pestered. And here's how you're going to nurture. Like, think about the literal Webster's definition of nurture, which we'll do in just a moment. But when you think about nurture, you think about taking care of it. You think about watering it. You think about fertilizing it. You think about giving it some time and attention so that it can become what it's supposed to become, so that it can grow, it can nurture. You can't follow up when you plant a seed in the ground and expect your follow-up activity to raise it and to nurture it. But when you nurture, 97% of your market, your prospects that you're calling on, are not problem aware and or solution seeking, then you have got to nurture them. And here's the framework that I teach you under Secret 2 on how to nurture is your who, your who, your what. The who you are, the who you serve, and the what you do, or the outcome that you provide. Literally, if you can get your prospects familiar through your nurture with who you are, who you serve, and the outcome that you provide, think about that. Like literally just slow down and listen to the words that I'm saying. Look at the words on screen. Think about 97% of your market not understanding that they have a problem that you can solve, and or they're not looking for a solution to the problem that they're aware of. You would need to make them very familiar with who you are, like literally your name. But the most important part of this entire framework is the who you serve, or your avatar. Because here's the thing, when you understand that 97% of your market is not looking for your product, they're not looking for your service, they're not looking for your price point, they're not looking for your features, advantages, and benefits, they're not looking at your no direct cost to them option, they're not looking at the pre-tax savings, they're not problem aware, and or they're not solution seeking. Therefore, the only way you're going to attract the right type of client and repel the wrong kind of client is if you get them intimately familiar with who you love to serve. It's why I spend so much time training on and teaching about the avatar. By the time the decision maker is finally going to secret 3, agree to shake your hand or come out of their office and shake your hand, or meet you in the lobby, or take your telephone call, or respond to your voicemail or your emails, you have nurtured them to become intimately familiar with who you are, who you serve, and what you do. This is the difference between nurturing leads and following up with prospects, and why most agents get it wrong. When you understand, there's another digital marketing term that I taught earlier in an earlier secret. You'll learn about DBU, or the die, buy, unsubscribe methodology. It helps you get clarity and focus on your pipeline, so that number 3, that you can use what I teach, the law of familiarity. The law of familiarity. What is the law of familiarity? It's exactly that. It's them becoming intimately familiar with who, what. And then when you segment your leads out into something we call a cold, a warm, and a hot approach, and you customize your approach to each one of those individual lead temperatures, your cold leads, your warm leads, and your hot leads, y'all, you become an unstoppable animal. So if you watch the video that I did a couple of days ago, where I went through the war on profit numbers, and I shared with you how you can turn 250, that's all, like all you need is 250 qualified prospects, small businesses, generally speaking, around that 20 employee mark, somewhere in that ballpark. You don't need 20 elephants, and you don't need 23-man groups. But if you would just go after normal, 15, 20, 25, 30 life groups in the insurance business, they are big enough to be profitable and small enough to generally still care. Big enough to have a P&L, small enough to really still want to take super good care of their people. Big enough that they can afford to put a defined contribution in, small enough that not Mercer and Aon and Gallagher and every other giant box broker out there, also competing for that business. When you find 250 of those prospects, you put them through the secret 2, the nurture, you will shake hands, secret 3, with 75 of them. Okay. That's why nurturing leads with intention will give you those much higher close rates that I talked about back on the War on Profit content. So what is the difference between nurture and follow-up? Because Zach, I've been taught my whole career that the fortune is in the follow-up, and there's some truth to that. But let's look at that Webster's definition for a minute. Like literally, what is the definition of nurture? It is the process of caring and encouraging for the growth or development of someone or something. Whereas the literal definition of follow-up is a continuation or repetition of something that has already been started. So when you just stop and think about it for just a minute, and you get crystal clear on your mind, understanding the difference between nurture and the difference between follow-up, you will begin to realize that leads are nurtured and prospects are followed up with. What's the difference between a lead and a prospect? A lead, all you have is pre-qualified leads, secret 1. That's all you've got. Prospects are ones that you've been able to shake hands with. You've qualified them as your avatar. You found out they do have some desire, but for whatever reason, timing isn't right, or they're not willing to meet with you right now, they ask you to follow up with them in a future date, or whatever the situation might be, you've decided that is a prospect. I'm going to move them from lead to prospect because I want to turn prospects into profit in the most reasonable amount of time possible. Leads give you prospects, prospects give you profit. Nurture happens before the decision maker handshake. In fact, if you want to know why, I can say with authority that you can have a very small, highly qualified pipeline of only 250 and get that 250 to yield you 75 decision maker handshakes, 75 decision makers that will at least hear you out to hear your phrase that pays, as I like to teach it, and determine based on that, am I willing to give you my calendar? 250 will yield you 75 of those because the nurture you took them through happens before the handshake, not after. That is secret 3. Follow up happens after the decision maker handshake. Now you're going to follow them up within their sales process for something that has already been started, a sales process. All right. Nurture is a marketing process known as the law of familiarity. Follow up is a sales process. It is a buying decision. It leads towards a buying decision, which is literally the last blank right there. Nurture builds familiarity and desire. Why? This is important. Why? Because 97% of your prospects are not problem aware, solution seeking at the time you reach out to them. So you're going to have to nurture them with who you are, who you serve, and what you do, so that eventually 33% of them will at least agree to shake your hand or hear you out, if you will. Follow up drives towards a buying decisions. Now, most agents truly do fail to see the distinction, which is what will lead to burnout. It's why you hear most of your entire insurance career, all you have to do is not quit, talk to more people. And like, okay, like that, as I've said 1,000 times, that is a model you can choose to do if you want to actually go out and just talk to anyone and everyone. You don't worry about nurturing. You're just trying to pick up the lowest hanging fruit off the ground. But I guarantee you, if you've been in the insurance business more than, I guarantee if you've been in insurance business more than a year, you have had opportunities that if you had simply nurtured them, you would have absolutely closed more deals. And if you had had a follow-up system in place, you would have secured more sales deals. Like, this is truly, secret 2 is the epitome of learning how to work smarter, not harder. Okay. Secret 2 is the guarantee. It is the insurance policy, if you will, against burning your market out and burning you out. Because when you just go out and make a gazillion cold calls and there is no nurture and there is no real intentional actual follow-up, here's the problem. When all you do is more activity, the only thing you can hope to find is the 3% of the market that is in known pain, seeking a known solution. That's exhausting. That means that 97% of your effort is going to be mostly futile. It's why people burn out of this industry so fast. There's some things to talk about regarding a die, buy, unsubscribe mentality in terms of your marketing. We'll get into that specifics on those details at the actual free training event that I'm going to do on February 17th. But today, in this little 10-minute masterclass, my goal is that hopefully something speaks to you deeply and you understand that if you will begin to think about your entire pipeline in a, man, if I would learn how to simply nurture my leads and follow up with my prospects, if I would understand that 97% of my leads are not problem aware or solution seeking, and yet 100% of my prospects are very aware of who I am, who I serve, and the outcome that I provide, and I follow up with prospects to turn them into profit. I nurture leads to turn them into prospects. You need 250 leads that you're nurturing, and you will build a 6-figure pipeline all day, every day, twice on Sunday, and remove so much of the complexity from the insurance business. You will remove, or at least be able to get off of, the ridiculous emotional and financial roller coaster that is commission-based sales, where you've got a big, strong pipeline and things are looking good. And then you enroll and fulfill that pipeline and everything freaking falls apart. Or that one big case gets BOR'd, or that one big case gets bought up or sold or transferred, or a new sheriff comes into town, your new hierarchy takes stuff away from you, or whatever the situation might be, right? When you are operating from abundance of only, like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the only thing you need to operate from ridiculous 6 figures level of abundance is 250 leads that you nurture to prospects. And secret too, y'all, this is so much more fun than cold call grinding and power hours and just smile and dial. Like, put the leads through a defined, repeatable process that you can get better and better and better at. And I'll be teaching the exact how-to, like the exact how-to will be taught in these 8 secrets. I'll be getting into the content and the depth of that on February the 17th. Drop a comment if you're interested in coming hang out with me on February the 17th. Free event, free training, best one I've ever put on. I'm really, really excited about it. Until next time, Ninja Nation.